Rule number 1, fuck what they think. That was actually class, to be fair. A common question I get asked when I work with people is, Sam, how do I stay motivated? And I'll always tell them, just read motivational quotes. I don't really, because I know that motivation is fickle. For some reason, it comes and goes, irrespective of what we're doing. And I think we all know that deep down. But for some reason, social media won't stop drowning aspirational people with these motivational quotes. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe motivational quotes are the fuel that you need to succeed. So let's rank them, actually unpick what they're trying to say, and see if there's actually any truth to them. We've got 3 categories and we'll see how many quotes fall into each of these. Let's crack on. So we'll start with the godfather of self-help himself, Mr. Tony Robbins. There is no such thing as failure, there are only results. Failure is a type of result and it exists, right? It really does. I've had some pretty brutal failures in my life. I wouldn't just call them results. They're painful experiences and I think they're necessary, but you shouldn't just class them as results. You have to appreciate and acknowledge when you fail. So I think this one's going to be BS. Mr. Gary Vee, the godfather of hustle. He said some pretty ludicrous stuff in recent years. I'm not sure if you've seen that clip of him where he's telling people to imagine their family members getting shot in the face.
Once a day, genuinely sit there for 5 minutes and make pretend one of them
got shot in the face.
But this one is actually okay. So we've got, don't get down on Mondays, make Monday yours, take it back, make Monday your Saturday morning. So I think he's kind of got a point here. If you're really dreading going to work on a Monday, then yeah, that kind of does suck. I wouldn't necessarily say make Monday your Saturday morning. I've worked a lot of days, like 6-7 days a week. And the older I've got, the more I realize that like rest is so key. You do need that to avoid burnout and all of those sort of things. So I wouldn't really put sort of Monday in the same bracket as Saturday morning. But he's kind of got a point. I get the sentiment. You want to not be in a position where you absolutely dread Mondays. I think that's going to be kind of slaps. Oh God, so Simon Sinek. I used to like this guy in terms of his books, particularly his Start With Why book, but then he just kind of became renowned for slagging off millennials and Gen Z. And a lot of what he does actually say is just hot air. He's a really good public speaker, but he'll just sort of say very obvious things and then at the end just say, right?
He says, I love my job, and everybody goes, oh my God, you're so lucky, right?
That's all he does. Working hard for something we don't care about is called stressed. Working hard for something that we love is called passion. This one's just straight up bullshit, unfortunately. The reason for this is that stress and burnout is much higher among entrepreneurs and business owners than it is kind of employees and workers. If you think of high profile cases like the founder of Monzo, so for those in America, this is like a challenger bank that sort of came through, I guess maybe a bit like Venmo to a certain extent. They kind of disrupted the banking industry in the UK, and the founder had to sort of step down because of just stress, burnout, anxiety, came to sort of hate the thing that he created. Being a business owner and someone who's worked for myself as well as just a one-man band, in a weird way, yes, it's sort of passion that drives you and you do enjoy sort of working a lot more, but that doesn't make it any less stressful, I wouldn't say. And just because you've got passion doesn't mean you're invincible to stress. You are probably more likely to get stressed and sort of burn out because you're always focusing on the work. You're always sort of ticking over in your mind about your own business. If you really care about something, it's just always on your mind. So this one's bollocks. This one is bullshit. Okay, so this one, yeah, absolute sort of classic by Jim Rohn here. Time is more valuable than money. You can get more money, but you can't get more time. Especially, I think, after sort of pandemic, I think people have really noticed how quickly sort of time can go. Everyone kind of got robbed of 2 years of their life. I don't think you can argue with that one. Truthful. Marie Forleo. Is she the female equivalent of Tony Robbins? I've seen her name and seen her face like here and there. I've never actually seen her speak. This quote, success doesn't come from what you do occasionally. It comes from what you do consistently. Why is that even a quote? That is so obvious. That couldn't be actually be more obvious. That's not even a motivational quote. That's an informational quote. That's disqualified. Straight red for Marie there. Oh, here we go. Why? I've never understood the use of really violent characters in films and TV shows for these motivational quotes. So we've got the Thomas Shelby, but it's also when you got like Wolf of Wall Street, you got the Patrick Bateman, all this sort of Sigma male shit.
There will never be another me. That alone makes me wonderful, magnificent, and special.
If you're an absolute of a person, then no, it really doesn't. So I think that's kind of just an excuse to be a bit of a knob, really, that one. I don't think any human has the right to just say by proxy that they're wonderful, magnificent, and special. That's not how this game works. So that one, absolute bullshit. Oh, this is the thing that I hate the most. I absolutely hate this. I've got a dream worth more than my sleep. So the whole
you can sleep when you're dead
mentality is just, it's the most nauseating, stupid, backwards thing I've ever heard in my life. Just no. Just know. And the ironic thing, I think, with this one as well, it's a picture of someone running. If you don't get enough sleep and you're an athlete, you're far more likely to get injuries. The body just can't recover. That's why the very best athletes in the world, the likes of Roger Federer, LeBron James, these guys sleep like 12 hours a day. Sleep is the best legal performance-enhancing drug there is out there. You just need that, irrespective if you're an athlete or if you're a student, or if you're a worker. You need your sleep. If you haven't slept well, you're not functioning as optimally as you possibly could. Read Matthew Walker's book, and that will change your entire perception on sleep. You've just got to prioritize your sleep. There's no two ways around it. So this one, this is absolute bullshit. Muhammad Ali. See, there are some of these that are actually decent. I hated every minute of training, but I said, don't quit, suffer now, and live the rest of your life as a champion. This applies to so many sort of domains of life. If you do want to be successful, you have to do a lot of stuff you don't actually like. That is the reality. Most of success is unglamorous. It's doing the same shit day in, day out. It's about sacrificing immediate gratification and pleasure, which is all over our society now and so sort of available in so many different domains and sort of ways now. It's about tuning out of those and just doing really boring stuff at face value. That is just the reality of life. If you want to be successful, you have to do things that are quite dull and quite boring. So this is truth. Success is hard. It's going to be very tough at times, but it will then pay off, hopefully. This one again. I like the account name, Grind Season. Because you're grinding so much, you just have to abbreviate season to season. But yeah, stop cheating on your future with your past. It's over. To be fair, that is a truth bomb. To be fair, people do get caught up too much in the past, sort of reflecting, what if, living regrets and wishing they could do things over or whatever. But yeah, it's over. You've got to focus on your future, focus on the here and now to make progress. So grind season. Yeah, you've got truth bomb there. The image here is quality. I think that there's a bit of hyperbole here. Train your mind to be calm in every situation. I agree with that. However, I wouldn't carry on having my wine dinner with my wife when there's a nuclear explosion, to be fair. I think there's a time and a place to not be 100% calm. I think, there's an element of sort of panic can be a good thing to get you out of danger's way. But for the most part, yeah, I think there's so many situations that we unnecessarily shit our pants over. So yeah, I think this one, apart from the imagery here, is probably a truth bomb. What? This one doesn't even make sense.
Don't show me your attitude. If I showed you mine, you'll forget yours existed.
Is this a motivational quote or is it a threat? I actually don't understand this one. Yep, that's bullshit. Oh, these ones just awful. Ones that are kind of like subtle aggression towards women as well. I've never understood these. It's kind of like a more acceptable form of being an incel. So we've got, when you choose woman, should it be choose women or choose a woman? Anyway, when you choose women over your goals, you lose them both. That's bullshit. A lot of people might actually pursue their goals for women. If you have a wife that you want to create the best life for yourselves, I think you've got to align your goals to her happiness and wanting to fulfill her. Equally, you might want to be really successful, take care of your mother. So you've got to have women in your life, lads, in a good way. Another one from Tony Robbins. Every problem is a gift. Without problems, we would not grow. Not really. I think there's probably some problems that you'd want to avoid. I wouldn't really say getting cancer is a gift. Kinda slaps, I guess. So this one from Steve Prefontaine, the man behind the rise of Nike. You should definitely check out one of my X videos on this. But he was famous for coming out with these little sort of tidbits, these little nuggets of wisdom. And this one, don't let fatigue make a coward of you. So you have to appreciate he's a runner. So in the context of running, this is 100% true, because there are those times where it's like end of a race. Your legs are just full of lactic acid. They feel really heavy. But deep down, you can really sort of grit your teeth and sprint to the finish line. And I've definitely been guilty of this, where I felt fatigued. I'm like, oh man, I kind of slow down and just sort of don't really dig deep into those sort of deeper reserves that we all have. So I think in the context of exercise, things like that, 100% truth bomb. However, just appreciate this one is contextual. If you're an Uber driver and you've been on shift for 12 hours and you're falling asleep at the wheel, don't take this one on board, right? Go home, get some rest. Okay, we'll do this as the last one. It's okay if all you did today was make it through. That's nice. You have to appreciate that that's a truth bomb. It's not every day you're going to absolutely crush it, dominate, smash it, whatever. There's going to be tough days. There's going to be days where you're just low. There's going to be days where your efforts are a bit wasted and don't actually match up to good results. There's going to be days where you just can't sort of click into the zone. So yeah, I think be a bit less harsh on yourself. This is a good little motivational quote to finish with. So from that, I have no idea what the end results are. I'll obviously put them up on the screen. So just take motivational quotes with a pinch of salt in future. I think they can be helpful overall, just to maybe like perk you up or sort of switch your thinking, you know, if you're in a bit of a rut. But reading these is not going to make you successful. You're going to have to put in the work, irrespective of whether you're motivated or not, and just avoid some of these really bad ones. Hope you enjoyed that. We'll see you in the next one.